Okay, it's supposed to show the progression of the characters in terms of maturity and all that stuff. And you don't get any sense of that with the martial arts. You just go, okay, we're gonna do some cool shit now. And it's not even cool. It doesn't. The fighting general. I mean, I sound like fucking stuff. The fighting serves a general purpose in the show for whatever. But it really does. It's supposed to be cool and it's supposed to be all that. But there's character things that really are important in terms of fighting and let's go back to that scene between Zuko and Katara in the first season at the very end. There's this whole thing about, oh, you found a master, haven't you? And then Katara fucking kicks his ass. And there's no progression in terms of fighting skill. I didn't get any of that. They just do some cool shit. And most of it is Aang. Okay? Most of it is Aang, and occasionally you'll get, like, Zuko. Okay, so now let's talk about some of the things that they changed from the series that I did not like. Okay? First of all, the firebenders cannot bend unless they have fire with them, which is stupid as shit. Because, I mean, where do you get the idea that the firebenders need fire to bend? They don't. It just comes from within. There's just, it's just Jesus. And then so Iroh is attacking Commander Zhao, and he draws fire without actually needing fire. And then Zhao goes, oh my god, you're a strong firebender. I'm like, you don't need that, man. You don't fucking need that. Okay. There's that. There's I will forgive them for not making Haru's thing that big a deal, because it's not. It is, but you need to cut out shit, so that's fine. But if you're gonna mention Haru and his father, why don't you just call them by their names? It's Haru in that movie, okay? You know what they did though? In the northern, I think it's the northern Earth Temple. What they basically do is they say, Aang. There's this guy who says, I'll bring you to this temple, and yada. And they bring him to the temple, and guess what? He traps Aang, and then the firebenders come out, and they go, right? So that happens, and I'm like, whatever, man. You don't need, and then he says, forgive me, Avatar, but you have caused me to live in poverty. And there is a sense of that in the show. It is there, but you could really, you don't need to do that whole thing just to show that part. You could, as a matter of fact, the whole thing about Avatar, you've been away for so long, you've caused me to think. They could have put that in the earthbending thing that they did. They could have just said, we don't like you, Avatar, because you did this. You could put that in the earthbending. You don't need to go to this whole thing, and you could, instead of using this stupid fucking thing, you could do something else, right? I mean, you could do something else. You don't need that there. Okay. And remember, okay, there's an episode called oh god. No. Well, it's like the fifth episode before. It's like the fifth episode before the last episode of season 3 of the series. The Ember Island Players. Okay, it's called the Ember Island Players, and basically, is this whole thing about how they got the story. They got the story right, but it's so, characters aren't correct, and Tara, they do this whole thing, just, the episode, Ember Island Players. That is basically what happened, but it's not funny, because, for this movie, there's an incident in the Ember Island Players where, someone goes, Katara, the actress playing Katara, goes, waterbending skill or whatever, and they say earthbending or whatever. You know what happened? They said firebenders. They said that seriously, not in a cool way, not in they said firebenders, really fucking gay, and it's just, it's terrible. I'm telling you, don't see this movie. You don't want them to destroy Toph, do you? I cannot handle that. I'm not going to go see it for Megan, but I don't want them to destroy Toph because I love Toph. I really do. I mean, there's so much crap. There's, there's a lot of crap in this movie, and you could cut a lot of it out, and you don't need any of it. And it's just, Oh, and you know what else? The spirit world. I'm gonna talk about spirit world. He doesn't know how to deal with spirit world. He doesn't because. Oh, you know what else? Okay, no, spirit world. He doesn't know how to deal with the spirit world. You know, the spirit world is like da 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 da. And in the show, it's kind of there. It's kind of not. It's not. It's not that big a deal. It. It's one of those things where you kind of don't need it. You know, I don't think they knew. He did not know how to do the spirit world. He didn't know how to do that. Okay. Now here's the thing. There are a couple things about Aang's character. Now in the show, Aang is a non-violent person. He chooses not to be violent because he doesn't want to be. You know, the whole raising that monk. In the movie, the spirit guy, the dragon spirit world guy, he talks to Aang and he says, "Don't be violent. We're supposed to resolve this without violence," and making Aang seem like a violent person, which he's not. He's no. There's a whole like the whole the four-parter finale is all about how Aang does not want to kill Fire Lord Ozai, and they completely destroy this aspect of this character because of all the important things, that is really like it's one of those character things that you don't want to kill because if you do destroy that, making him seem like someone who wants to be violent, who wants to fight. It's not. That's not. No. It's not how Aang is. You know, he likes. They did not know how to do that. They really didn't. I was really stressed out. Okay, after watching this movie. You know, it's so dreadful. Like, why would they do that? And I should have known. I should have fucking known. Because everyone says that Shamalama Ding Dong is horrible. Like, these movies are dreadful. But I didn't, you know, only one I've seen is Sixth Sense. Which is, I don't remember that one. I watched it twice. And the second time was like on TNT or, you know, one of those movie channels. I don't remember things like that. I don't fucking remember. But I liked it. I think I remember liking it. But that's the only movie I saw. But according to everyone else, it's so horrible. He's terrible. And you know what? You know that story about how his kids, he's watching his kids watch the show, and he's like, oh, you know, I think he did. He made this calculation. Oh, you know what I could do? Everyone loves this show. I'm gonna fucking destroy it, make some money, which I don't think it has. I hope it dies. I hope it dies a fucking terrible death. But I don't, you know, it's like number 2 according to IMDb right this moment. So I'm not, I don't want it to, you know, everyone, all the fans have been like, it's too dark. I wouldn't even mind, you know, there's this whole thing about interpretations, and if he had gone like, the show, okay, here's the thing about the show. The show knows when to be serious, and, you know, it knows when to be serious, and it knows not to break the seriousness in lieu of, and, you know, and, or comedy, you know, it knows how to do that, unlike, say, Frasier, which always fucking does that, I don't know why. Like whenever there's a serious moment in Frasier, they always try to do some funny things. But anyway, so they like the show knows when to be serious and when not to be serious, and they do keep a good balance. Now, if you're going to go completely dark on it, I have no problem with that because that is part of the show, and it's a different interpretation of the show, and that would have been fine. I wouldn't mind at all. And there's this whole thing about grounding Sokka. That's fine to ground Sokka because he is that serious. Watch Sokka's master, and watch the first part of I know Sokka is a serious person. He's goofy, but it's okay to ground him. I'm not gonna fucking. There's this whole thing about interpretation. Like people who say, "Oh my god, I read the book and then watched the movie, and the movie was so crappy." And I was like, for instance, Twilight. I haven't read any of the books, but I watched the first movie, which wasn't completely dreadful. It was okay. I'm not gonna complain.